As a Catholic, I have always enjoyed visiting different churches and cathedrals. The architecture and history are enchanting, and I feel a sense of peace and comfort when I enter these holy places. However, one church in particular made me feel anything but peaceful. It was a small church in a remote village in Hungary. I was on a backpacking trip with my friends and we stumbled upon this church by accident. It was old and rustic, and there was no one else around. We decided to explore the church and take some pictures. As soon as we walked in, I felt a heavy presence. It was as if the air had thickened and my heart rate spiked. My friends felt it too, but we ignored it and carried on taking pictures. However, things soon took a spooky turn. I heard faint whispers in my ear, as if someone was trying to communicate with me. My friends didn't hear anything, but I was certain that I wasn't imagining it. Then, I felt a gust of cold wind on my neck and my hair stood on end. I turned around, but no one was behind me. That's when we heard a loud banging noise. It sounded like someone was banging their fist on the wooden pews. We froze, and my heart felt like it was about to burst out of my chest. We looked around, but there was no one in sight. Suddenly, the altar candles flickered, and I felt a sudden pressure in my chest. It was as if something heavy was sitting on me. I couldn't breathe, and I fell to the ground gasping for air. My friends rushed to my side, but they were too overcome by a sense of dread. We knew we had to get out of there, and fast. As we made our way towards the exit, we heard footsteps behind us. They were slow and deliberate, as if someone was following us. We turned around, but no one was there. We finally made it out of the church, and the moment we stepped outside, the heavy presence lifted. It was a surreal experience, one that left me feeling spooked for days. I have been to many churches before, but I have never experienced such a strong paranormal presence. When my wife and I bought a cottage, it was a quaint little place with a thatched roof and a big garden. But soon we discovered that the cottage was hiding a dark secret. It started with small things. The doors would creak open and shut on their own, and we would hear footsteps in the middle of the night. We brushed it off, thinking it was just the old house settling. But then, things took a terrifying turn. One night, we were woken up by a loud thud. It sounded like it was coming from the attic. My wife was too scared to go up there, so I went to investigate. As I climbed up the rickety ladder, I felt a chill running down my spine. The attic was filled with old dusty furniture and boxes, but in the corner of the room, I saw a shadowy figure. It was only for a split second, but I knew I had seen something. I called out to my wife, but she didn't hear me over the sound of her own screams. We didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next day, we decided to call in a priest to bless the house. But even that didn't help. The hunting continued, and it only got worse. One day, my wife woke up with scratches on her arms. They were deep, as if someone had clawed her skin. We knew then that we had to leave the cottage, but we couldn't sell it to another family without disclosing the hunting. It seemed like we were stuck. That's when we decided to conduct our own investigation. We talked to the locals and discovered that the previous owner had died in the house. He had never left and was still hunting the cottage. We tried to communicate with him, but we only got silence in return. So we had to take drastic measures. We hired a team of paranormal researchers who came with all sorts of equipment. They spent the night in the cottage, documenting every sound and movement. And finally, they managed to capture something on camera. It was a shadowy figure, but this time, it was clear as day. The researchers were shocked, and we knew it was time to leave the cottage for good. We never went back, but we still have nightmares about the shadowy figure in the attic. We learned that sometimes it's best to leave the paranormal to the experts.